Hey guys, it's Otti again. I'm here at the E-tropolis Festival outside of the Turbinenhalle. And besides me are two members of the band Mesh, main members. Hi.
Hi.
First.
Mark. Rich.
Yeah, and we met some last year, I think it's a year, no, not a year ago. How long is it ago? It's not important, but met over there. It's just over there. Back then it was a rather spontaneous talk. Now I've planned a little bit.
It's got some planning in it.
Yeah, so I can read and you can answer now.
Okay.
But maybe you can tell me, what have been your highlights with Mesh since then, since we met at this very cool concert?
We played some big shows, some sold out shows, been a lot bigger than we've been kind of playing to for a while. So, well, actually ever, really.
Yeah.
We've done some of the biggest shows we've done for a long time. Just our shows, not festivals. So.
Yeah, that's really good.
And we've been recorded as well, so that's another thing.
So we can talk about new material later on. But this show was very special because it was this afternoon show, because you had to get a flight and stuff.
Yeah.
How do you remember coming out of your own show and the sun is up?
It was quite a bit weird, and it was almost like a mad dash to the airport as well, because we didn't have a lot of time.
No.
So it was all a little.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. We're kind of used to it being midnight or 1 o'clock.
Yeah. A bit chaotic.
Halfway through the afternoon, and you got to get a flight. Yeah, but yeah, it's an interesting concept. Yeah, quite like it.
Yeah, we could do it more often. I think people like it as well, as far as I've seen.
Yeah, they like to finish the show and then
go for a meal. Have some cakes and some coffee and stuff. Family. I think cool. And in between, I, for example, had some meeting with your keyboarder once.
Yeah.
With this Depeche Mode show. So I think you support him with this. How do you like this concept of his Depeche Mode interpretations?
It's kind of interesting thing to do. I mean, he's very kind of passionate about his channel and the fact it was, very much Depeche Mode related, and he just kind of fancied doing it. I mean, he can play it really well, and so he just wanted to do something a little bit different and not be like a tribute act or anything. Just to play these songs.
It's probably good for him to meet, his patrons and things like that. In real life, rather than through email and messages and stuff like that. So yeah. He seems to be enjoying it a lot. Yeah.
It's quite a brave thing to do as well.
It's brave, yeah.
Piano, so.
Yeah, got a lot of respect for that. It's difficult.
Totally can imagine.
Yeah.
Did you see one of his shows? No?
Not yet, we haven't, no. No, we've only done one in London, hasn't it? Yeah. So
it's really worth it. And for today, for example, this is a very long day for you.
A long day.
You've been up early doing soundcheck and you're the band you're stuck at, I think, 11. So
yeah, we were here at 9 a.m. Yeah.
So how do you get your mood up to still be on point at night?
It's quite difficult, I have to say. It's just such a long day, and you just, I don't know. I suppose there's a little bit of adrenaline coming.
Yeah, an hour before the show will start. I mean, we're just idiots all day long and just mucking about, and you fill up the time, but an hour before the show you start getting into the mood of it. Yeah, because you feel tired like now, but
yeah, I think it's probably there are down times and up times in such a long day. Yeah. So what did you do today, if I can ask? What have you done to spend the time? And
I think I've taken in a few of the bands, watched a couple, there's like a little VIP area at the top, and you can kind of look down over and watch a couple of the bands. That's quite interesting.
My soundcheck's busy. For me, I've got a lot of kind of technical stuff to set up, so that kills that. But it's not. And I don't know. I guess we were finished by maybe 11.
Yeah.
11 o'clock. So I've been back to the hotel just to try and memorise everything for the show. But yeah, just sitting around, really, drinking coffee and talking nonsense.
And then, is there a difference, for example, preparing a show like this or like at the Turbine Temple back then? Do you have some different setup or probably a different set?
Yeah, the festivals are generally shorter and a bit more to the point, really. Some of the, like the one we did for, the re-release of the album, and that was a bit more technical and a bit more. Took a bit more planning, so and there's a lot of stuff that we haven't done for a while that's to be practiced and worked out. So yeah, a show like this is a little bit easier, I guess, but there's more people, so it works both ways.
This is sold out today, so
Yeah,
really
good, yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
so
before,
I just hope people are kind of still up for having a good time at that time of night. You know, it's kind of a long day for the audience as well as for the bands.
But they're also drunk as well by that point.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So I think your music is rather for being emotional, being cool. So are drunk people good or bad for like yours?
That's a very good question. I don't know. Yeah, I think it might work. Yeah. I see what you're saying there. I haven't really thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, probably they are not that drunk because beer is not that cheap at such a venue. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like you are drinking 10 or 20 beers.
Yeah.
Most people don't own those. They do. They are great.
Yeah. I mean, I think with the festival shows, it tends to be a bit more upbeat in a way. So it's difficult to do loads of slow songs and things like that when it's not. You don't have the time to do it really.
So maybe can you tell me which songs are set nowadays for a match set at a festival, which are really important that have to be played?
It's usually the sort of singles and things like certainly Born to Lie, Taken for Granted. They're all what we call the non-negotiables. You've got to do it because people expect you to do it, and then we just try to intersperse it with other slightly different songs just to kind of make a set. You know what I mean? But there's always the ones you have to do. Because people expect it from you, don't they? So
yeah, I mean, I think the festival and was it the point in which it falls apart show? They're very, very different things. You're kind of doing an album, and whereas a festival, you kind of, it's a bit like writing your resume. You've got to keep it sharp, and you've got to keep it, to the point. Otherwise, you can lose the audience a bit. Especially, it's quite a long day for everyone.
And probably it's more difficult to cut songs than to put them in.
It's always difficult to cut them, yeah.
Yeah. The longer you keep going, the more songs you've got, the more difficult it becomes.
I mean, the show today is about right, but if you do it any shorter than that, it starts to get to the point where you've got to throw things out that you don't want to throw out. And that can be quite difficult. We don't fall out about it, but it's, you're starting to get down to the ones where, he likes that, he doesn't like that. This length show is okay, but any shorter, it starts to get a problem. An hour would be a problem.
Yeah, maybe this is an advantage of being headliner. So you don't have these 30 or 40 minute sets like other bands who at least have.
No, I mean, and we get a bit more time to set everything up as well. This is the other thing. We're kind of first people in this morning, so we get a bit more time than everyone else to do that. It's quite difficult festivals if you're not, the last band on, because you don't get much time to get everything right. So yeah, hopefully we'll be technically okay today.
Normally it's here, they have good people.
Yeah, everything's been really fine.
Very professional.
Yeah.
And I know you have done many shows in your life, and your music, as I mentioned, is often very emotional, but you have up-tempo songs. But what has been the most funny moment you ever had on a stage? Something where you really remember you were laughing and maybe had to stop or something like this?
We've done some weird shows. I mean, we did a show to one person once. It was in America that somebody organised a secret gig for us, but it was so secret only one person turned up. So that was quite memorable. But we did the whole show. The guy.
And sometimes people shouting things in the audience is quite funny because it kind of throws you off a bit. You get like slightly heckled or something, and it can be really funny sometimes. So yeah,
with all sorts of things, we've had people fainting, and we've had to stop the show. I mean, it's usually the day. The things that happen in the day are usually the funniest things. I mean, we haven't had lots of problems during the shows. We've had a few awkward people, but not very often.
I think normally your audience is like rather cool, rather smooth.
Yeah, they're not looking for a fight generally.
Maybe it differs when you start. It's different than when you have your name. People only come for you, or mainly come for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult if you're starting out. If you're a support band, all those things, a festival that nobody knows you, all those things are hard.
But we've done all that.
We've done that.
It's kind of
when you've got your own show, and all the people that have come to see you, then they're already on your side. So you've got to be pretty bad to turn those people against you, really. So as long as you try your best, it's the starting out. The early days are a difficult one because people are generally not aggressive, but they're impress me. That's how I reckon.
Yeah. I'm just reading a book about Danish punk scene in the 80s, so I think there have been some bands really bad and some really humorous on the band on the shows and stuff.
Yeah,
I think, but it's difficult in different in
it's difficult for anyone new starting out. You've got to impress people, and they don't. I think a lot of people come hoping to enjoy themselves, but there's also a lot of people that show me what you can do, kind of thing, and that's really difficult, especially if the music is difficult to understand. Maybe they're doing something new that people don't like new things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've seen many bands out doing all those old school sets now, just to please people.
Yeah.
It's somehow cool sometimes, but it shouldn't be always like this. You have done something like this?
Yeah, we've done the kind of legacy thing.
And
a retrospective tour as well. That was looking back at some of the old stuff that we haven't done for a long time, and just thought it'd be quite nice to do. So but it's interesting. It's good to go back to these things, and we've done it in a kind of way that we thought, well, we'll bring them up to date, make them a little bit more like what we do now, but take the old songs and kind of do different versions and stuff. So
those shows they're a lot of work. Those shows. You have to go back through, try and find technical things, samples, computers that you haven't been switched on for 20 years, that sort of thing. It's quite difficult to do something like that. It's a little bit easier now. The technology is a little bit easier to help you do those things.
But do you remember your very first show together?
Yeah.
When and where was it? And was it a good show, or was it like with difficulties?
It was a good show. There was a lot of people, but I think it was a lot of people because you get all your friends and family, and everybody wants to come. So yeah, it was good. It was
where was that?
It was the Mauritania, wasn't it?
Oh, the Mauritania.
Yeah, it was like a pub sort of come club in Bristol, and they had bands playing, so we booked that and went down there and done a show there. But yeah, it was probably a couple of hundred people, but that was good for a first gig, if you know what I mean.
Even that, I reckon.
Maybe, I don't know, but it was a lot of friends in it. They're on your side already, aren't they? It's but good, yeah.
But if they don't like you, you should better stop, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least rethink things.
Yeah. Okay, maybe
change
some more rehearsals.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
But you've got to start somewhere. I think the problem is with a lot of people who make music, they put off going out and doing it because that's the tough bit. It's easier to give somebody you don't do that anymore. You don't give them a tape anymore, obviously. But to send them a SoundCloud or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But to go on stage and do it, it's tough. Especially you've been in your bedroom doing that. It's going outside and doing the tough thing.
So you have been very excited back then. Are you still excited when going on stage?
Yeah. It'd be nice to get some new songs. So we're doing that at the moment. But yeah, that'd be good to do that. We've got plenty of material. We can play loads of things. But yeah, something new would be a nice challenge. Yeah.
So this brings me to: is there a new album coming?
There is.
Yeah. So how far is the progress now? What can you tell me?
I'd say it was a good 50% through now. We've got a lot of stuff written and a lot of kind of, if you like, demos that are ready to be worked on. And we've got about 5 songs that are kind of almost finished. So yeah, we're probably good 50% in now.
6 now.
Yeah, maybe 6. Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, it's been just been a long time just getting back into it. But yeah.
So
the time goes really quick.
To try out something really completely new, some new synths or some new techniques.
We have been, yeah.
There's a lot more equipment we've got since the last album, so yeah, you're trying different ideas and things. So, yeah.
It's hard to tell whether we're doing something new until we play it to people that haven't been involved in the process. I think we are doing something different than we were doing before. but because we're so involved in it, it's part of our lives now. You know? So I'll be interested to see what people think. You know, but it's going to be good. Yeah. Please,
so.
Yeah.
If not, I'm really disappointed. So
no,
let you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
no, back into the studio. No, just kidding.
But yeah, we're doing a lot of, we've had quite a lot of time off, so and things have changed again. You know, the technology's changed a lot, and we like new technology, messing around with things, and the songwriters, I think, has changed. So, yeah, it's just another step forward, I think.
It's coming together as well. I think I sat and listened to what we've got so far, back to back. I mean, all the songs, and then you kind of it's a good way of knowing what's missing from the album and what's needed. But I did start getting a feel for it, thinking actually, this is all right. It's quite good. It's difficult when, like Mark said, when you're so involved in it, you don't know whether it's good, bad, or have you done this before. But now it's beginning to feel like actually, no, this is all right. So it's, I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Sounds really good. So looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And we'll come to an end now slowly. But I have to ask because you are the last act tonight.
Yeah.
Playing, and afterwards is the after show party.
Yeah.
And I love to ask which Mesh song, if you would be the after show DJ, which Mesh song would you play if you were the DJ, and which song of another artist afterwards?
Okay, I would play. I think "Born to Lie" is always a good kind of dance floor filler, isn't it? So yeah, that would be my choice, and then maybe something by I Am X. I'm quite into what he does at the moment, so yeah, maybe one of his tracks.
Same to you?
I don't know. It's a very difficult question. I like "Kill Your Darlings." I like that one. I don't know if it would probably get me sacked from the DJ. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, as a floor filler, maybe something by That's Her or something. I would like Shame or something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Oh. And one last question. Is there any NGO or any charity that you really like to support? Is there something you say, okay, this is fitting our hearts?
Diabetes UK, I support. Yeah, family reasons. Yeah.
Same. I'm in the same position as Mark. So
Yeah.
Right. So, do you have some free message to the people outside before we leave?
Cool. Thank you very much for your support.
yeah,
And if you don't support us, thank you very much for your future support.
yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah. So great. Thank you again
Thank you.
for the nice talk.
Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for watching and cheers. Bye.